Good evening, I'm Joyce Uburi. Former Prime Minister and ODM leader Raila has condemned President William Ruto'S controversial order instructing police officers to shoot protesters in the leg during civil unrest, calling it a violation of Kenyan values and the rule of law. Speaking at a public rally in Kakamega, Odinga warned that such directives risk spiraling the country into a cycle of violence. He urged the government to cease what he described as a de facto targeting of Kenyan youths, calling on President William Ruto to terminate directives he characterized as deadly and divisive.
Hatutaki polisi wapige risasi vijana wetu hata kwa mguu. Polisi wasiwe na ile risasi ya chuma. No live ammunition. Police can only use rubber bullets and tear gas. Lakini sio risasi ya kuua watu. Hatutaki polisi waue watu yetu. Si tunapinga maisha ya binadamu, si maisha ya swara. Swara ndio huendwa na risasi, lakini binadamu ana akili, anaelewa.
The ODM leader also slammed Treasury CS John Mbadi over delays in releasing funds meant for secondary school capitation, insisting that education is a right that must be fully funded by the government without excuses. His remarks come after Treasury CS John Mbadi announced that the government can no longer sustain a free primary and a secondary education, citing a rising student numbers and limited fiscal space.
We are not going to allow any We are not
Mambo ya elimu hatuwezi kucheza naye. Sisi kama chama cha ODM tulisema tunataka elimu ya bure kuanzia primary hadi secondary hata mpaka chuo kikuu. Sasa tunasema elimu ya secondary ni lazima. Mpaka waziri wa fedha atoe pesa ya kutosha ya watoto ya shule ya sekondari. Hii mambo ya capitation hapa hakuna mchezo tena. Sawa.
The ODM leader Raila has also defended Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna, saying he has a right to speak his mind without facing attacks from leaders and party supporters. Odinga said the leaders within ODM should allow open discussions and respect different opinions, noting that Sifuna's remarks during his recent TV interview were within his rights as a leader. Sifuna has faced criticism over his comments on the ODM MOU and the state of the country, with some leaders accusing him of undermining the party's position.
I may not agree with what you have to say, but I will defend unto death your right to say it. Everybody got a right to speak their mind. That is democracy. This is what ODM stands for. There will be differences of opinion. Watu wako ndani ya chama si lazima wawe ni maoni moja juu ya mambo, lakini mpaka to protect right of people to speak. Kama Sifuna ameongea, hakuna haki ya kuongea. Kama wewe unatofautiana na yeye kwa maoni, sema yako.
Nairobi Senator and ODM Secretary General Edwin Sifuna on his part pushed back firmly against the critics of his recent TV interview, declaring that he speaks on behalf of Kenyans and fears no political pressure. He said that his remarks on ODM's internal policy and national discourse were made in service of citizens, not under the influence of any individual or faction.
Wakati mwingine watu wanaweza kufikiria wewe ni wazimu, kwamba unakuja mambo yako tu, lakini nyinyi ndio mnanituma kusema mambo ambaye nasema kule Nairobi. Nataka niseme hapa kwa sababu mimi ni mwanafunzi wa Mheshimiwa Raila Amolo Odinga. Huyu baba Raila Amolo Odinga, hakuna mwanasiasa Kenya hii ambaye anatusiwa, kukejeliwa, kukosolewa zaidi yake. Na amenifunza kwamba Sifuna, unapokosolewa inamaanisha wewe ni kiongozi. Kwa hivyo wote ambao wamenikosoa hapa, nataka niseme sijasikia ubaya, sijasikia vibaya, kwa sababu ukikuwa katika nafasi ambaye niko hapa, unaongoza watu zaidi ya milioni 5.
Meanwhile, Kihara MP Ndindi Nyoro has opposed any plans to cut or scrap funding for free basic education, warning that education is a constitutional right that must be protected. Speaking at the Catholic University of Eastern Africa, Nyoro dismissed recent remarks by Treasury CS John Mbadi, suggesting the country could no longer fully sustain a free primary and secondary education. Nyoro expressed concerns over the Treasury's move to reduce the secondary school capitation fee, calling such a shift unacceptable. He further urged the Treasury to cut unnecessary expenditures such as office renovations and redirect those funds to support schools, stressing that every Kenyan family is directly impacted by the state of the education system.
We are not going to allow anyone to play around with the issue of free basic education. Kenya has always afforded to fund free basic education. Kenya has always afforded to pay for examinations. Hii sarakasi haitaanza. Stop those renovations you are doing in big offices. Direct that money into the education of the Kenyan children. Na nataka niseme hatuombi mambo ya free basic education. We are not begging from anyone. We are demanding that it must continue.
National Assembly Speaker Moses Wetangula has criticized the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua for urging Kenyans abroad to stop sending money home, saying the comments are out of touch and undermine millions who depend on diaspora remittances. Speaking in Kisumu County, Wetangula said the funds sent home are vital for families and local investments, not the government. He urged Gachagua to return home and engage in constructive politics.
Nimeona mkiongozi moja ameenda Amerika hata hajui what remittances from Kenyans in the diaspora means. Hakuna Mkenya huko nje. There is no Kenyan in the diaspora who sends money to the government of Kenya. They send money to their families, to their friends, to build the country, and that is what stabilizes our foreign exchange. Sasa ukienda huko nje ukisema msitume pesa kwa Kenya, hakuna Mkenya. Wale watu wanazungumzia, wanakucheka, wanasema mjinga huyo ametokea wapi?
Paul Mackenzie, the prime suspect in the Shakahola massacre, has distanced himself from a fresh case of religious radicalization uncovered in Kilifi County, where 2 human skulls, a body and 4 individuals were recently found at a secluded compound in Binzaro village. Police arrested 3 suspects and rescued 3 women and a man from the property located near the infamous Shakahola forest, the site where over 400 bodies linked to Mackenzie's ministry were exhumed in 2023. Mackenzie, who had been in custody since March 2023 facing terrorism and manslaughter charges, has denied any involvement in the latest incident. His legal team argued that he cannot be linked to events occurring while he remains behind bars and that the new compound is far from his known operations. The defense also dismissed reports suggesting that some of those found were former followers of Mackenzie's Good News International Ministries, saying the claims remain unverified and are under investigation.
Tumesikia habari ambazo zinatatanisha kusema ya kuwa kuna mambo ambayo yanafanyika maeneo ya Binzaro, na mambo hayo yamejaribu kuhusishwa na client wetu ambaye ni mteja wetu katika kesi ambayo tunawakilisha. Tungependa kusema ya kuwa tumezungumza na mteja wetu na tumeweza kubaini ya kuwa kutoka kwake anasema mambo haya si ya kweli. Mambo haya ni ya kumwekelea na mambo ya kujaribu kumchafulia jina kwa mbele ya koti na mbele ya umma kwa kamili. Kwa sasa hatujapata kuulizwa hata na vitengo vyote vya usalama kuulizwa kama mambo hayo ni ya kweli.
And across borders, deadly clashes along the Thailand-Cambodia border have killed at least 16 and displaced tens of thousands, with the fighting spreading to over a dozen areas. Thailand's acting Prime Minister Pluntham Wichayai warned the conflict could escalate into war, citing the use of heavy weapons. Thailand accused Cambodia of shelling civilians' zones, triggering mass evacuations. Cambodia in turn alleged Thailand used banned cluster munitions, a claim yet to be addressed by Bangkok. Both sides blame each other for sparking the violence. Despite offers of mediation by leaders like Malaysia's Anwar Ibrahim, Thailand insists on bilateral resolution. Global powers and the UN have urged an immediate ceasefire, with the Security Council set to meet following Cambodia's request for intervention.
Pearl Radio, the home of fresh and classic hits.